All right, so today we're talking about the Insta360 One RS. The edition that I got is the twin edition, and so today we're talking on a 360 camera. Let's do this. So I've never used a 360 camera. I'm new to VR, I'm new to the whole experience, so this is really going to be something to get used to. Now, this camera produces a 5.7K file for the 360 degrees. I have it set at 24 frames per second. The shutter, I don't have shutter control necessarily from what I see so far, but most of what I'm doing right now is going ahead and using the application that Insta360 has for their cameras, and I'm just sort of getting used to this. Now, so far, the experience has been great. I have, very little setup issues. The camera is pretty intuitive to how to put together the brain with the lenses and the battery. Installing the CF card might have been a little bit easier. It's a not CF card, the SD card. So the micro SD card was a little finicky to get in, but other than that, everything was really easy to do. I was able to get up and running with the camera in next to no time. And so far, it seems to be quite a pleasant experience. Now, one thing that might change this is how I edit it. Now, I'm a DaVinci Resolve user. I don't know how well this camera will work with DaVinci Resolve. You could also do some basic editing in their application. I'm unsure if that's going to be really the way to go, but I mean, so far it's pretty fun. Also, it downgrades the image on here, so I look like I'm a blurry mess so far, but hopefully this is something that will be usable. Now, I do want to use this in some specific environments. I'm planning on using this when I go to Burning Man to sort of capture the whole area and be able to provide a 360-degree VR experience for people coming and wanting to know sort of what our Burning Man experience is like. So this is really going to be something to leverage that with. And right now I am using this with a iFootage monopod with the selfie stick. And so as you see at the bottom of the screen here, there is my legs for my monopod, but otherwise it's great. I mean, it's easy to use. It's hooks up with a very similar to like GoPros, the GoPro sort of style mounting. So I really want to see if this would work with some of my GoPro gear. I might be able to attach this to, my chesty or to my helmet attachment and so forth. So that's going to be really nice to see if that works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. One of the things with this mounting bracket is it has a mount screw, 3/4 inch screw on the bottom, so I could attach it to a tripod, I could attach it to the selfie stick, I could mount it pretty much anywhere. So that's going to be really useful going forward. And then the selfie stick also has a mounting point on the bottom, so again, I'm using this iFootage monopod, and I have it attached so that it's on the bottom. So that's really super useful and super handy. Other than that, there's no mounting points on the cameras itself, which is fine. So you do have to put it inside the container, the protective shell, which is fine to attach the points. But other than that, it works really well. Putting the camera inside the protective shell is easy. I managed to do it without too much hassle. It doesn't feel like it's going to last the test of time on it, but that's we'll see how it goes. On the side, there is a hole for accessing the ports and so forth from the camera, and all in all, it's good times. So hopefully this turns out well. I will probably upload this portion of the video in a 360 environment on YouTube, so you'll be able to view it with your Oculus goggles or your Meta goggles, whatever they call it now, and be able to experience what this 360 camera looks like. Now, I am filming fairly early in the morning, so the sun isn't terribly intense. It's right here behind me, and so how it looks now, if the lens requires a lot of light in order to work decently, that's to be seen. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully we're able to just produce this and send it out. So let's go ahead and do a walk around and see what that's sort of like. So as I go around the camera, the phone application only shows one way. Now you could flip the camera around so you can see what the other side is looking at. So that's pretty helpful. And so if I come out here and I'm doing a little talk in my backyard, I could easily come back here, and there shouldn't be any lapse. I should be going all the way around the screen. So, and that's pretty cool. So far I've been recording for quite a few. I do have like a 256 mini SD card in there. It seems to be eating it up. The battery seems to be going pretty quick though. As I'm using this, it was fully charged from the beginning of this, and now I'm at 83%. So that means 17% for just this one video clip, which seems a little aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. But on the whole, that's a pretty cool little thing. Now, I am going to switch this out and try it with the other lens and see how that goes. All right, so here we have it with the 4K boost lens. This is the standard sort of lens for the action cam perspective. So, I mean, it looks pretty good from the preview here. Now, once that changes, when I get it into my NLE, my editor, we'll see, sort of how this footage comes out. Just looking at the app itself, it looks like it's doing pretty well with the sun being behind me. It does have a little bit of a glint in the lens, so maybe this angle isn't the best for it, but you have the ability to sort of move it and reposition it a little bit and get something a little bit better. Now, this is relatively close to my face. I mean, it's probably 1.5 feet away from my face right now, so I'm not necessarily going to be using this for vlogging, but for now, I mean, that's one way to sort of use it. So again, probably going to be using this, attaching it to a mount, so that if I do something outdoors, I could film it. If I'm doing an event, I could film it, and so forth, and make sure that it's securely fastened. Now, I'm still using the selfie stick with the monopod sort of set up here. It's good for being able to just sort of move around and do that. The camera itself has a flow state stabilization, so hopefully as it's moving around, it's really consistently smooth. That stabilization hopefully doesn't have any trade-offs there. So yeah, it's sort of a nifty little camera. Again, the app is super easy to use. It's really simple. You could review the footage. I am again down at 79%, so this battery isn't necessarily the most long-lasting battery. I have a feeling that one investment that I would make is probably buying a secondary battery. I know they have a extended battery on some of their cameras. I don't know if the RS has an extended battery or not, but on the whole, it's pretty good. Now with the app, I could also go ahead and get the footage here. I could download it onto my phone. There's a simple editing on here. I'm not going to be doing much of that, to be said, but you know, I am recording the audio on my Zoom F2 and with a lav, so I'm not using the internal audio. So if you want to hear the internal audio or the default audio, here I'm turning it on now. Hopefully it sounds decent. So I do not have the third lens, which is the Zeiss lens. This one, I think it's an ultra wide Zeiss lens, but this seems to work very well. And so as we produce videos with this, we'll see what it is. So what my plan is to do is to go out into some environments, take some 360 videos, post them up on the site, and show you how it works. Now, since this is my first entry into 360-degree video, it might take a little while to get it perfect and make it look decent, but hopefully this camera is going to be simple enough that we're able to do it without too much issue. I hope everybody has a great week. This is going to be my first adventure into 360 video. The Insta360 One RS is the way that I'm going with it, and we'll see how this goes. Now, for an option with this sort of price tag, it's relatively cheap and has the ability to do quite a bit for not so much. So hopefully this turns out to be a good investment. All right, hope everybody has a great week. See you in the next one.